Please welcome to the show, Craig Bolanos. He's the CEO of Wealth Management Group. There he is. Thanks, Craig, for taking the time here today. Okay, where to begin? I started with some numbers. I don't know if you heard me, but 12, 22, 41, and 75. The first three are the returns on the stock indices with the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ. And the last one, the 75% kicker, that's the old Magnificent Seven, right? So should we chase some of those artificial intelligence stocks, those tech stocks, or do we sit back and see what happens? I mean, where do we go from here after those big? I mean, hey, some of those numbers, 9 or 10% of it was put on in the month of November, which, you know what? I've been doing this a long time, Craig. 9 or 10% used to be a great year. What say you?
Scott, I'm only laughing out loud because I remember visiting with you on the 19th of October when the 10-year Treasury put up a 5 handle.
Yes.
The S&P contracts threatening to go below 4,000, and all of a sudden, everyone who was on Recession Island said, "Oh, thank heavens, S&P 3,800's coming." Well, the exact opposite happened. And no, you and I talked on Friday. Anybody right now who's got cash on the sidelines, people who have existing equities and missed the rally in the Mag 7, do not chase it because you cannot be priced for perfection forever. There's other places in this market for people to certainly allocate capital.
All right, well, that's your job. You're not really a stock picker on a day-to-day basis. You're a more long-term guy, I think, right? So what would you say to the viewers out there that have made their money this year with what they do as far as farming and ranching goes, where I know there's an age group and their risk parameters. I know that all goes into it, yeah. But what do you think is going to be a place that they can do well in next year?
Sure. Let's be general, right? As you said, although we can talk sectors and other things, it's never a problem, Scott. The first thing is, again, I think people should be focusing not on cap weighting. People should be focused on the equal weight. So if you've made all your money in the S&P 500, it is time to get some dollars into the equal weight version of the S&P 500. I would argue the same goes for the NASDAQ 100. Everyone's been riding the Qs into the stratosphere on a ballistic missile. Hey, everybody, there's an equal weight version to the NASDAQ 100. I think that should be looked at as well. But the truth is, we're in a place now where bad news is bad news. We're in a place where good news is good news. I like where we're at, and I'm just hoping we don't have too many growth scares going early into 2024, because now that the Fed has pivoted, should we get a growth scare, should we get any sense of an economic slowdown, there's nothing they can do. The pivot's over. This was it.
Right, and that's the problem. I mean, we saw the rhetoric change the second week of December from the first day of December. It was a pretty big deal. Is he saying, do you think he sees something nefarious around the corner not nefarious, worrisome around the corner that is giving him this idea that he might need to cut rates? Or do you think there could be something else that's going in there? We talked about it in the last segment, but this whole show has been based around the fact that we are seeing some pretty weird stuff come out of the Fed. At the same time, we've got some really big debt. You know, America is 34% of total world debt, which is another problem. So what do you think is going through his mind to suddenly shift from what he said December the 1st to the 13th?
Yeah, it's got to make everybody just a little bit nervous because, again, talk about pivots. That certainly felt like a pivot. And I was actually happy to see Williams. Heck, I was happy to see on the other side of the pond, Scott, you've spent some time there. I was happy to see the ECB saying, hey, we're not even talking about lowering rates in 2024. I think people are going to be talking it down because, if anything, that press conference the other Wednesday, he didn't only confirm the market's idea that we're going to have these rate cuts. For crying out loud, he added to it. So I'm not sure if someone had a bad teleprompter in the speech, but I gotta think there's not something nefarious. Come on, we live on Wall Street. We sniff out things before the government ever finds them. If there was some big, bad, horrific piece of data out there, I think we would know it. The only thing I can think of is maybe aliens are real and something bad's coming. No, I'm teasing, Scott. That's not the case. Remember, the trend is our friend. New highs make new highs. Last time I checked, I've been told my entire career, don't fight the Fed. We're in a position right now not to fight the Fed. I just encourage investors to rebalance and start equal weighting because there's areas of this market that didn't participate this year, especially the way the Mag 7 did.
You got 10 seconds. Explain equal weighting to everybody out there.
Again, in a cap-weighted index like the S&P 500, the largest stocks account for a majority of the movement. Get into an S&P 500 or 100 where every stock is equally weighted, aka 1/500th of the index. It's a better platform for safety at this time.
I think that's excellent, an excellent idea. Appreciate you coming on because that's not that hard. There's products out there that I think let you do that too. So thank you very much for being on the show. Craig Bolanos, he's with the Wealth Management Group in Chicago. He started it there, too. Thanks, Craig, for all your time. All right. How about this? Our Jim Bob and the Cow Guy segment on Friday, well, it was a real hit. Something that I call an instant classic, just as we knew it would be. You lit up the cow phone, so let's dial her up to read some of your comments. It was a lot of fun. All right, here we go. This is from Alex in Wisconsin. Ashley, Jim Bob and Scott had me breathless on Friday. Well, this is from KNP in Kansas. Jim nailed it. The WEF and the WHO have declared that they want to decline the population down to 800 million, from 8 billion, by the way. That means a lot of us need to stop breathing, right? And this is from Omar in Santa Paula, California. Wow, just wow. That middle segment with Jim, Bob, and Scott put me in such a good mood that I didn't need my usual third cup of coffee today. The key in life is not to become demoralized nor discouraged by the crazy world that we live in, and y'all do an excellent job of keeping us in high spirits. Keep it up. All right, this is from John and Donna in South Carolina. Jim, Bob, and the Cow Guy, three guys we would love to have a beer with. It was a breath of fresh air. Keep up the great work. All right, and this is from Brian and Sue in Florida. Oh, my God, we so miss Jim Bob and the Cow Guy. Such exceptional insight and minimizing shortness of breath. That was a lot of fun, too. And this is from TJ in Iowa. The absolute absurdity that you highlight daily and then address with a dose of common sense is just what the world needs. Keep being the light. Thanks for the great feedback, everyone. You know, that segment came to be in the pre-dawn hours of Friday when I sent Ashley a link to a news story that I saw that came out in the UK. She then knew immediately how to handle it, and she resurrected Jim Bob and the Cow Guy. Perfect timing, and the conversation did not disappoint. Thank you very much. You're welcome. All right, that was a lot of fun. All right, how about this? Keep shooting us those texts. That number is 615-983-9681. That's 615-983-9681. You can see by those last cow phone segments, we definitely use them for the show. 615-983-9681. Thanks for watching this show. I'm Scott Shellady, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. I'll see you again tomorrow.
The Farmall has been an iconic partner on the farm for generations. Come celebrate a century of Farmall, the one for all, with us at farmall100.com.